Ninth grade students, good morning and welcome to our session today in which we are going to talk about the final English exam. In this session, we are going to talk in details about how to use the exam paper and the answer sheet. Before we start, let me first of all welcome my colleagues here, Mrs. Suhair Haj Omar, an English supervisor in Damascus Directorate.
Good morning.
Ms. Nisreen Saqbani, a teacher of English in Damascus.
Good morning. Morning.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for you.
Mrs. Suhair, Ms. Nisreen, would you please allow me just in 2 minutes to show our students what do we mean by answer sheet and the exam paper. So,
yes.
Our dear students, follow us on the screen. Now, this is the exam paper. As we all know that we have exam paper, in the exam we have 2 papers, let's say, or we have 2 pages. Yes. This is page number 1, in which we have 2 texts. Both texts are from your books, student and activity. So, under each text we have many tasks, and we are going to talk about that in details. This is the first page. Now, if we move to the second page now, we can see that this is the second page where you have to choose between brackets, to complete dialogues, to write missing words, matching, to choose the correct tense, to write questions, and the last one we have paragraph writing. So this is the exam paper. And as I have mentioned, that everything in this exam is from your books, student and activity books. Now, let's now see what do we mean by answer sheet. This is the answer sheet that you are going to write down your answer on. As you can see here, my dear students, it's numbered from number 1 to number 35. To number 35. And we have a special part where you can write down your paragraph. Yes, and here this is a draft which is not corrected. Now, here we can see this page is special for writing your paragraph, composition. Here you can write your paragraph. So this is the answer sheet. If you have any question, it's our pleasure to help. So, now, we are going to speak in details about the answer sheet and the exam paper with Mrs. Suhair and Ms. Nisreen. Would you please start? Mrs. Suhair, tell us what types of tasks are under or below the first text?
The first question is always like that. The rubric is read the following text, then do the tasks below. The first text is always it's either from student book or from the activity book, and it's allotted 50 marks. It's followed by 2 sets of questions or 2 tasks. The first set consists of 3 comprehension questions in the form of MCQs, multiple choice questions, and in this set is allotted 30 marks. Each question is allotted 10 marks.
Yes, right. So this is an example of the first text. We have the text, and under it we have 2 types of tasks. Task number 1, we have multiple choice to choose A, B, or C, and the second one we have definitions.
Yes.
Now, let's have an example, Mrs. Suhair.
I'm going to read the first text from this sheet of paper, sheet of exam. There are many jobs that need special skills and equipment. Smoke jumper is parachuted into areas where there are forest fires. Once he is there, he has to cut trees down and clear plants to put the fire out. It's risky because fire and smoke can kill him, but smoke jumper wears special clothes to protect himself and stop the heat and smoke from affecting him. If a smoke jumper does his job well, he has the satisfaction of saving people's lives and protecting forests. He actually likes the danger and enjoys the physical work.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Now, let's begin now to do the first task, which is to choose.
Yes, of course, this text is from your book. That's why I read it fast. You can have it in the book. The first question, the first example, A smoke jumper cuts trees down to be able to, here we are going to choose from these choices: A, make, or stop, or spread fires. Here I would like to draw the student attention that he can't find the word exactly as it is in the text.
Yes, sir. Yes, right. So you mean that some students, when they read the question or the stem or the sentence, they start searching for the same or
The
exact
exact
words in the text above.
Yes.
So it's not necessary to find the exact words in the
Of course
text.
not. The student must understand the general idea of the text so that he or she can answer these questions.
Yeah.
As here, the example, you can see a smoke jumper cuts trees down to be able to. Of course, the correct answer is stop, because the word in the text is
Yeah.
put the fire out.
Yes, right. Here, as we can see it here.
Put the fire out is the same meaning as a stop. Of
Yes,
course,
right.
it doesn't mean make, and it doesn't mean spread.
Yes, right. To put the fire out, it means not to spread the fires,
It
the
means
fire,
to
or to make the fire, or just to stop it. So this is the answer for number 1.
Yes.
How can I write down my answer on the answer sheet?
Yes, that's a good question, because some students write the whole sentence.
Yeah.
The student can write either the letter of the answer, like A or B or C. In this case, he can write only B, and he can write stop, or he can write both of them. The
Yes,
student
right.
can
C.
write B, stop, here.
Yes, right. C. C,
sorry,
stop.
here,
Now.
so, okay.
Yes, right. So this is about number 1. Can we take another example, Mrs. Suhail?
Yes, of course. Number 2, a smoke jumper can reach the area where there is fire, by car or by plane or on foot.
Yes, right.
If we read the text again, we are not going to find any word refers to car or plane or on foot, but we can find the word parachuted.
Yes, right.
And
Here.
parachuted means that he was on plane.
Yes, very good.
So the correct answer here is by plane.
Yes, B, by plane. Now, would you please, Miss Nisreen, write down the answers on the
Yes.
answer sheet to show our
May I have your pen?
to
Yes,
show
of course.
our students now how can I write my answer on
Yes.
the answer sheet. For example, number 1,
Number
letter
1,
C.
letter C, they can put only C, or they could also write stop.
Oh.
So they don't need to write the question again.
Just
Yes,
yes,
to
right.
stop.
Yeah.
They have to write the word next to the number, the answer next to the answer,
Yes, right.
next to the number.
Yeah, Miss Nisreen, if we write down only the letter C, is it it's
Yes,
enough?
it's correct. It's enough.
Yes, right.
They
And we
can-
can write C and stop. It's also correct.
Yes.
And we can write only stop.
Yes.
Yes. Now, again for the second
The
sentence.
second one, so we said that the right answer is by plane.
Yes,
So
right.
next to number 2, they could write B.
Yes, right. Because the
And
choice
here it
here, the
is
correct
correct.
choice is the B. Yes,
It's
right.
enough.
Yes,
It is
it's enough. Or they can use B, and next to it they write biplane. And if they don't write B and only write biplane,
Yes,
all of
it's
these,
accepted. It's okay.
all these
Yes,
answers
very
are
good.
accepted.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So we don't need to copy the sentence. We don't need to write anything from the exam paper on the answer sheet. It's just to choose the right choice and write it down on the answer sheet, either the letter or the word itself.
Yes.
Now, Mrs. Suhail, let's move to the second task.
Yes, it's read, choose 2 of the underlined words in the text to suit their definitions below. And this task is allotted 20 marks.
Yes, sir.
Of course, the student has, if you go back to the text, the text has 3 underlined words.
Yes, right.
Here in this
yes.
text are forest, risky, and smoke.
Yes, right.
The student is to choose 2 of these words which suit the meanings in 4 and 5. 4, here it's dangerous. The definition, the student is to choose risky.
Yes, very good. So here we have two definitions, Mrs. Suhair,
Yes.
and we have three underlined words in the text above.
Yes.
So this means that we have one word which is
extra.
We don't need it.
Yes.
So for number 4,
Dangerous, the correct answer is risky.
yes, right. Now what about number 5?
Large areas of land that's covered with trees. Here we are left with forest and smoke, so the correct answer is forest.
Yes, right. Now, Mrs. Suhair, while I am reading, for example, I may forget the meaning of the word risky. Is it a problem for me as a student?
Of course it's a problem, but the student can be helped by the fact that for is dangerous, it's an adjective, so he can find or look for the same part of speech in the text. For example, forest, it's a noun, so it's not suitable for dangerous.
Yes,
risky is an adjective, so it's a possible correct answer for dangerous. So here he can find the same part of speech. Adjective, if he has an adjective, he is going to look for an adjective. If there is a noun, he has to look for a noun, and if he has a verb, he has to look for a verb. That might help him a little bit.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Now, we can say another thing here also. If we look at the text here,
Yes.
it's risky because fire and smoke can kill him. If I forget the meaning of the word risky, for example, as a student, I have not to be worried. I have to complete, to go on reading, and then I can figure out or I can know the
From the
meaning
context.
from the context. When I see, for example, the sentence, the rest of the sentence, the smoke, the fire can kill him.
So
So
it
this
is
means that
dangerous.
it's dangerous.
Of course.
So don't worry, please, our students. Don't worry if you don't know the meaning of any word or forget its meaning. Just go on reading, and you will find the meaning or the general idea from the context. Now, this is about the first text. Now, let's move to the second one with you, Ms. Nisreen. Would you
Yes.
please read the rubric first of all, Ms. Nisreen?
Yes. In the second text, also, here we have two tasks, true-false task and two comprehension questions. My advice to the students is to read the text quickly first, and for the first time. Then they need to read the true-false statement and compare them to the text. So when they read it for the next time, for the second time, they could figure out if they were true or false.
Yes, right. So it's important. Not some students, Ms. Nisreen and Mrs. Suhair, that some students, they start doing the task, answering the questions without reading the text.
Yes.
They say that they have studied it throughout the year, or they have studied it before
Yes,
the
yes.
exam. So it's very necessary to read the text
Yes.
first of all to get
Quick scan, at least.
scan it to get the general idea. Then we have a look at the questions and the sentences. Then we go back go back to the text to read it for the second time in order to focus now more on details.
Yes, this is a very important idea, because a lot of students fell into this trap. Even top students.
Yeah.
They said, I know this text, it is about a day in the life of a newspaper reporter, so I know it. So they start to write the answer from their memory.
Yes, right.
And this is, but by the time some of the part of the text is deleted, so
Yes.
they have to read the text and answer from the text, even if they know the answer.
Yes,
To
thanks.
make sure from their
Answer.
Answers, yes,
yes.
right. Now, would you please, Ms. Nisreen, read the text,
Yes.
and
The
after
rubric
that we are
is-
going to do the task.
read the following text, then do the tasks below, and the text is: Ziyad's father is a reporter. He always starts his day checking his email and phone messages. He is working for the next day's newspaper, but when something unexpected happens, like a flood, he has to travel anywhere in the world at a short notice. He loves his job because he thinks that every day of his job is different we can complete it or not.
Yes, so we don't have enough time,
Yes.
so that's enough. So here we have just an example here. Now, would you please start doing the first task, which
Yes, the
is
first
about
true, false. Write true or false, and it's allotted 30 marks.
yes. How many sentences, Miss Nisreen?
We have 3 sentences.
Yes, we have
6,
3.
7, 8.
Yes, right.
I will do the number 6. Reporters spend all their time in the office. Of course, this sentence, I think it is false, because in the text we say that they travel sometimes.
Yes, right.
So it's not all the time they are in that.
So the same, Miss Nisreen, we don't have to find the exact words in the sentence or in the questions above in the text above, because we have here to understand, to read and understand,
Yes.
not to
It is an idea of comprehension.
Yes, of
and
course.
they are all this task is comprehensions.
Yes,
task
right.
In,
So
either in true or false or comprehension question. So the second sentence, number 7, Ziad's father thinks that his job is exciting, and I find this sentence is true.
Yes.
Because he said that he loves
yes,
his
right.
job.
He loves.
He loves.
Yes.
The verb loves indicates that that his job is exciting to him.
Yes, very good. Even if we complete the sentence, Miss Nisreen, he thinks that every day of his job is different, and he is still learning a lot about so many different subjects. So this
obviously-
means that he is very interested in his job.
And his day is exciting. His job is exciting.
Yes, right. So the first sentence is false, because they don't spend all their time
Yes.
in their office, and the second one is true. How can I write down the answer for this sentence, 6 and 7?
Yes.
Would you please show
There
us
is
on the
a-
answer sheet?
In this task, next to number 6, here is these 3 numbers is for the true and false. Next to number 6, I can either write F only, or
Yes,
I can
letter F
only,
or
or
F, it's
I
correct.
can write false
Or false.
also.
Yes.
It's right. Or I can use the X mark
Yes, very good. So,
to check
Just use one way.
one way.
Just to write F
Some students write in French.
in French. No, we need to write in English.
read in
F,
English.
false, or
Or
X.
One of them, not
Yes,
all of them.
one of them. Yes, right. Now, what about the second
The
one?
second
number
one
7.
also we can say T. We can use T
because
for
it's
true,
Yes, T
or true,
The word
True.
true.
the word true, or tick.
or tick. Yes, very good, Miss
Yes.
Nisreen. Yes.
I want to hint about something make us laugh when we correct paper. Can I?
Yeah, of course.
Some students use this thing. What
Yeah,
can you?
it's not true, not false. So in this,
to the
yeah,
to the teacher.
in this case,
No.
it
It's
rates
not.
0.
It
It's
rates
not
0,
accepted.
it's not
So please,
accepted
our dear
at
students,
all.
be careful.
Be clear.
You have to be clear to have a good handwriting in order to get marks. But if you write unclear answer, you are going to get your answer is not accepted. So this is about the first task concerning the second task. What is about the second one, Miss
Yes.
Nisreen?
The second task is the rubric is answer the following question, and it's allotted 20 mark.
Yeah.
In these questions, we have a WH question, and it is important to write. It's better to write a complete answer
Yes,
for
right.
the
But
students.
if the students don't write the complete answer, are they going to lose marks?
It depends. I think sometimes they should. It's better to write full
So
answer.
it's better, but I think they are not going to lose marks. But
Yes.
as a 9th grade student, they have to write
Yes.
the complete answer. Now,
Here we have 2 questions, number 9 and number 10.
yes, let's do just number 9.
Just number 9. What is the first thing Ziad's father usually does? Here the answer is he always start his day checking his email and phone messages.
Yes, right.
Actually, Ziad's father does a lot of things.
Yes, very good.
But the question is, what is the first things?
No.
So here I have to find what is the first thing.
Yes,
I
very
can. I have indicator. The verb starts.
Yes, right.
So start indicate that this is the first thing he does.
Yes, right. So if they asked us, what does Ziyad's father usually does? So if the student writes, he works for the next daily newspaper, it's correct. He checks his email, it's correct.
He
travels anywhere, yes. So, but here we have the first. So here we have a specific answer that we should write it on our answer sheet.
Yes.
Now, would you please
Students
write?
have to be careful about these details and these hints we are giving them. Sometimes our students, after the exam, they told us we did very well, and they don't know why they lose some marks.
Yeah.
This is the things that they may lose mark for it. Now you want to write.
Yes, right, please.
Yes. Next to number 9,
Yes, right.
I
So-
write a complete answer. He always starts.
بس ارفع الورقة لفوق.
Yes. He always starts his day
Okay.
checking. There is a problem here that may some of the students fall in it when they don't have
enough
space. So
Yeah.
they can put an arrow.
Yes.
They can, or they can what?
Write it in the back.
Write it in
On
the back.
of the
Yes,
paper.
in the back here in the last.
لا تميلي يا مس نسرين.
Yes,
تمام.
the place. So here is it. They
Yes,
have
right.
to write it.
Now, if I while I make revision at the end of the exam and I want to change my answer, and I don't have enough space, what can I do now?
In this case, I have to delete my
Yes, right.
answer, but I have to write a hint or make a note to the teacher who is going to correct the paper that my answer is at the back of the exam
We
sheet,
know
the
that
answer
some
sheet.
students الإجابة في الصفحة الثانية.
Yes, yes.
So, but please, our dear students,
Even if they write
don't
it in
forget to
Arabic.
write the number of the answer.
Yes.
So, for example, number 9, you have to write number 9, and next to number 9, the answer of this
number 9.
sentence.
Yes.
Yes. Thanks a lot. So, this is all about the first page. We have 2 texts and nothing to memorize. Just please read and understand. And if you don't know the meaning of any word, don't worry. Go on reading, and everything will be okay. Thanks a lot. Now, if we have a call, do we have a call?
Good morning, teacher.
Good morning.
Can I ask some question, please?
Yes, of course.
Can you explain us the question tags, please?
Yes, of course. We are going to talk about this about question tags in details, but when we are going now to explain the second task here in the second page.
Yes.
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 And another question, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
How many paragraphs should we study it?
Yes, right.
Study it.
Yes, right. So if you go back to your student or activity book, you can see under the title of writing at the end of each unit, we have the title writing. Would you please, Miss Nisreen, show us?
But some paragraphs are the same.
No, we don't have the same paragraphs.
Yes, sometimes in the activity and the student, the same topic.
Now, when we say write about a health diary, it's different from what when we write how to keep fit and healthy. The same topic, but we have some changes.
Some of the topics are repeated, like a day in your life.
Yes.
Out or a journey out, write about a visit, about you did, write about a day you will never forget.
Yes.
This is a similar topic.
Similar,
So,
but not exactly the same.
not exactly the same. There is some differences between them. You have to
So
pay
it-
attention about the
Yes,
differences.
right. Yes, that's what
But
we say.
our teachers write the same paragraph, the same topic to us.
Yes, yes.
Yes, some teachers do this. They combine 4 or 5 paragraphs into one paragraph to make things easier for the students.
Yes.
Now, if the content of the paragraph is okay and
Yes.
it covers all the ideas that are required in the exam, so it's okay.
Yes. And now when we come to the composition part, we are going to tell you
To
how
explain
this composition
this
is
idea.
going to be corrected, so that it helps you to decide if your paragraph is good for this topic or not.
Yes, right. Yeah.
And now we're going to answer you about the question tag in this exercise from 11 to 14.
Yes, right. Any other questions here?
No.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thanks, teacher.
Thanks for you.
Thanks.
The same.
Now, so we are going now to talk about question tags, and also we are going to explain something about writing paragraphs and how to
Yes.
correct the paragraph
Yes.
in the exam. Now, let's move to the second page now. Mrs. Suhair, would you please read the rubric here?
The rubric is read the following sentences and choose the correct answer. This question is allotted 40 marks.
Yes.
The numbers are from 11 to 14.
Yes, right.
We have 4 sentences with 2 words in brackets, and the student is to choose one. These words are either grammar or normal vocabs. When we say grammar, we mean articles, tags, linking words, linking verbs, relative pronouns,
Prepositions.
Yes.
prepositions. Yes. Let's start with the
Let's
example.
start, yes, with sentence number 11.
In number 11, my sister who or which lives in Homs is visiting me next week.
Yes.
Yes.
Here the student, of course, he must choose who, because this is a relative pronoun, and before the brackets we have sister. This is a person, and the relative pronoun which suits the person is who.
Yes, right. So because we are talking about people, so here the correct choice is
who.
Now, if we have a similar sentence about the same rule, which is about relative pronouns, let's see this one, Mrs. Suhair.
The car who or which I bought is expensive.
Now,
Here the relative pronoun refers to an object, to a thing, which is a car.
Yes.
So we choose which.
yes, right.
Yes.
So when the relative pronoun refers to a person or people, we choose who, and when it refers to a thing, we choose which.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Now we come to Hussein's question, which is about question tag.
tags.
Now, it's in sentence 12.
You've done your homework, haven't you, or don't you? Let me first explain to Hussein the question tag in general, and then we're going to answer this. The rule is to change the auxiliary into negative if it is positive, and to change it into positive if it is negative.
Yes.
Here, you've done your homework, we have it, it's positive, so we are going to choose it in negative. Here we have haven't you and don't you, both are in negative. So
Yes,
how
right.
are we going to choose, haven't you or don't you? You've done. This abbreviation for if is have.
Yes, right. The short form.
A short form
of
of have. So we have to change it into negative, so it becomes haven't you.
Yes, right.
And here have is an auxiliary. It's not a main verb because it's followed by verb 3, which is done.
Yes.
That's why it's an auxiliary, and we are going to choose haven't you.
Yes, right. So this, you mean, Mrs. Suhair, that when we want to choose or to make a question tag, we have to focus on the auxiliary of the
Yes.
original
And the pronoun.
sentence
Yes.
and the pronouns. These two important elements.
Yes.
Yes.
And see if it's negative or positive
change
in
it
order
into-
to choose the, to do it
The
vice
opposite.
versa, to do the opposite.
Yes.
Now, here you have done. You have to pay attention to the short form, apostrophe S or apostrophe VE. So this is the short form of have. Because it's positive, as Mrs. Suhair says, we have to
Choose
choose
the negative.
having. Now, if I write it in negative form, Mrs. Suhair, would
As
you
in
please?
the next example, you haven't done your homework. Here haven't is in the negative, so we are going to change it into positive.
Yes, right.
We are not going to choose haven't you, we are going to choose have you. So from negative, it will be positive, and if it's positive, it's going to be negative.
Yes,
Yes.
just the opposite.
I hope
And
it's
this
clear,
is-
Hussein.
Yes, right. And if you have enough time at the end of this seminar, we are going to do
Yeah,
extra activities
extra,
about the
Especially
question.
the question tag
tags.
is in Unit 10,
10.
and most of the students, maybe before this quarantine,
Yes, right.
they
They
did-
maybe missed it.
miss it.
No.
Number?
We have a call, please.
Another
Yes,
call,
Aya,
yes.
good morning. Aya,
Good morning.
good morning.
لو سمحتي present passive.
Present
Present?
Passive.
Present passive.
Perfect.
Present perfect or present passive?
ألو.
سمعانتك آية.
لو سمحتي بدي قاعدة present passive.
المبني للمجهول قصدك passive.
Yes. In Unit 9.
Unit 9?
Yes.
Yes, right. So about present passive.
Okay.
I think we have some examples here. Maybe you're going to
Yes.
talk about
Yes,
them.
right. Now, if we can write a sentence, please, Miss Nisreen. Yes, you can have a paper here on the overhead.
Yes.
I clean the car, maybe.
I
Clean the car.
بالضبط الورقة.
Yes.
yes.
To
Yes.
change it into passive.
Now,
Yes.
so this sentence is an active
Direct.
sentence. Let's
active.
write, please, Miss Nisreen. We have the subject,
Yes.
the verb.
In any sentence in English, we have subject and verb and
Object.
object. Okay.
Yes,
So in
right.
the passive, we usually there is no need for the subject. We don't concentrate on it. So we delete the subject. And here, what we do, we use the object and put it in the place of the subject. So the sentence is going to be the car. The car what? The car, it isn't clear? Yes. Sorry. The car,
Now we're going to add a verb to be,
yes.
which suits the
This is another important idea, that this sentence is in the present.
Yes.
So we have to use the present passive.
Yes.
In the present passive, we use the present form of verb to be. Verb to be, which they are what? Am, is, and are. So here, the car, we use is with it. The car is. Now I go to the verb. The verb is here is the verb 1 because it is in the present, but in the passive we use it in the verb 3 in past participle. The car is cleaned. So here I want to say that the car is cleaned. There is
So-
no need to say who cleaned the car. That is why we don't mention the subject.
Yes,
But
right. Here the focus is on the action, not
Not
on the doer or
then
on the subject.
who do
So
the-
what do? We put the object at the
Yes.
beginning of the sentence. We put verb to be plus verb
Yes.
3.
So this is
because it's in the present, we have to use is. If I say the cars,
yes, the cars.
It's in present and it's singular, so that we
If
use
the object was
the cars,
the cars, so here I have to use
are.
are,
yes, right.
because are go with the plural. The cars are cleaned.
Cleaned, yes, right. So
Only
yeah, thanks a lot. So present passive, we have verb to be, is or are plus verb 3. Is
Yes.
it okay, Aya?
is it clear?
She's not with us.
Yes, right. Now, let's go back to our task
13.
number 13. Now, here we have to choose or to select between two vocabs.
Yes.
Now, would you please, Mrs. Suhair?
My brother prefers watching or surfing the net. Here we choose, of course, surfing, because here, as you see, it's not grammar. it's a collocation. It's related to vocabs.
Yes, sir.
Because net comes always with the verb surfing. It doesn't come with the verb watching.
No.
As we know, watching comes with TV.
Yes, right.
And surfing comes with the net. So that's why we're going to use or to choose surfing.
Yes.
So if the sentence is, my brother prefers, between
Watching
the brackets,
or
watching, serving TV,
Of
so
course,
then we
we
are
are
going
going
to use
Watching.
watching. Now, because we have the net, so we have to choose
Surfing.
So this means that we have to read the whole sentence,
Context
understand
is
its
always
meaning,
important.
and then to decide the correct choice.
So
The
this
second
sentence depends on meaning
on meaning, yes.
rather than
Yeah.
grammar.
Yes, Ms. Suhair.
Another example here, I prefer living in the village, between brackets, but or because it's quiet. The answer here, of course, it's because it's quiet is a reason for why I prefer living in the
Yes,
village.
right, because we are speaking about,
Yes.
talking about reason.
A reason.
So we can,
We use, okay, have a call.
yes, right, we have a call, yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have a question.
Yes, you are welcome. What's your question?
In the next phrase which said, I have forgotten my ruler, shall I or I will lend you mine?
Shall I or I will?
Lend you mine.
Yes.
Yes.
Can you repeat the first part of the sentence, please?
Yes, repeat again.
It is from your activity book.
Activity.
Give us
Yes,
from
if
the-
you
from
give
activity.
the number of page
number of
and
the
the number
page.
of exercise.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Is it from your activity book?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Which page?
Uh,
I think it's in Unit 7.
Yes, I think it's 49.
in general.
Yes, exercise number 3. I forgotten my ruler. I lend you mine. So, what's your question? Here we have offer or suggestion.
Yes.
Yes, what's your question?
She said, I will lend you mine, or shall I lend you mine?
Oh, yes, right.
I've forgotten my ruler. The answer is,
I'll
I'll lend you mine.
yes, right.
I will. As you said, I will lend you mine, or I'll lend you
Yes,
mine.
right, because shall I, it means
Can you
with the
write
question.
the answer for her, please, Ms. Nasreen?
On the book,
No, on the
on the
paper.
paper. Yes, it is shall I.
I
yes,
will.
shall I or I will. For suggestions and offer, shall I or I will.
Shall
No,
I?
here the answer is I will.
Yes. Shall I is wrong.
I
And
will.
I will. There is something important that when we use shall I, at the end of the question there is
A question mark.
a question mark.
Yes.
And but here in this sentence we don't have a question mark, we have a full stop. So I have to use
I will.
I will lend you. Okay, it is number 5. Okay, Aya, is it?
No, it's someone else. So if we have, for example, if I have time,
So it is
I will help you. Another example, if I have time, I will or I'll help you. But if you want to give it in
Another way.
way, you can, shall I help you?
yes.
Yes, right. But when you ask me about that sentence A, in exercise number 3, page 49, the correct answer, as Ms. Nasreen has written, I will lend you mine.
Yes.
Yes? Yes. Another call here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How now if was, is, and has a question tag?
What about the question tag?
How now if was, is, and has. For example, he's been talking for hours. Isn't or hasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Another question?
No.
Yeah, thanks, Hiba. Now, Ms. Nasreen, she is asking about the short form of has and is. They have the same form or the same short form. Would you please write the short form of has and is? We have apostrophe S.
Yes. I will write here 2 examples.
Yes.
With
Yes.
like he and
He's been. هي ذكرت he's been. To Homs, for example.
he has been in London.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
ليش شوي fighting?
Yes.
Yes. Would you please read the first one, Miss
The
Nisreen?
first one, he's Syrian, and
Yes,
the
right.
second one, he's been in London. Here we have S, and here we have S. And what can, how can we know which auxiliary here?
Yes,
the S
right.
refer
So,
to
in
what,
sentence
and
one,
this S
yes.
refer to what?
Mhm.
The first one here, the S refer to is.
So this is the
Why?
short form of is.
Yes.
While in the second,
In the second
sentence,
one, this is the short
form
of has.
of has. How do you know, Miss Nisreen? How can we differentiate as if it's the short form of is or it is the short form of has?
Yes. Always after has, we have verb 3.
So if we see after the short form apostrophe s, we see verb
The
3
three.
or the past participle. This means that this is the short
This
form
is
of
has.
has.
But the is after it, we may have noun, adjective,
Adjective.
or verb with ing.
ing. He is studying.
Yes.
It means he
That is
is
why
studying.
The tag of this question is
Isn't.
isn't he, and
That's
the
right.
tag to this question is hasn't
She.
she.
So hiba,
Okay.
hiba. Is it clear? When we have verb 3 after apostrophe s, this means that this is the short form of has. Yeah.
Okay, I think it's clear.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Miss Nisreen. Now
You're
go back to our
exercise.
yes, to
We
our
are now
form. Yes, number
Now we
14.
are
Fourteen.
number 14.
Yes.
It's unhealthy to eat too much or too many sugar. Here, the rule is about countable and uncountable nouns. When to use too much and when to use too many. We use too much with uncountable nouns like sugar here. Of course,
right,
we can't
because-
count sugar.
Yes, right.
Like rice, like coffee, noise. With such words, we use too much because these words are uncountable.
Yes,
Yes.
right. Now, if we take another example, which is about countable, Miss.
It's healthy to eat too much or too many vegetables.
Yes.
Here, vegetables is, as a noun, it's countable, so we use too many. Other examples for countable nouns, chairs, desks, cups,
Yes.
pens, books,
Yeah, thanks a
anything
lot.
which you can
so,
count.
in this exercise, the students should select between the pronouns, prepositions, relative pronouns, tags, vocabs, maybe words of quantities, linking words, but, and, or,
Yes.
etc. So we have the use
Variety
of
of,
English, variety of
grammar,
but
but not tenses.
not tenses.
Right.
no.
Because tenses,
Yes, right. If we can do
There is
just one example, Miss Nisreen, on the answer sheet, for example, number 11, the
Yes.
answer is
Who?
who. So,
Number 11. Now,
yes, right. So, number 11,
next to number 11,
Yeah.
I write who.
yes, right. What
I have
about
to write.
number 12? Here we have question tag, the correct
Haven't you?
selection here. Haven't you?
Yes.
Would you
So
please-
they don't need to write the whole sentence.
Just
Only
the answer.
the answer which is between the brackets.
Yes, right.
You have
Haven't.
done, haven't.
Haven't you? Now, some students, they write it, only the, we have here two words. The choice, it is consisted of two words, haven't you. Some students, they write down only haven't. It's not acceptable. You have to write the complete choice,
Yes.
haven't you.
If the
For
choice
example,
is of
for
two
number
words,
14,
so they have to
in number
write
14,
it.
we have too much and too many. If the student writes only two,
Yes,
Of
number
course.
14,
Here it's
I will write
confusing
it.
and
Yes.
he must write
so he
So,
must write
two words,
if
the two words.
Yes,
If
the
they
two
write
words.
two only,
Yes, it's
so
not accepted. It rates
it's not
zero.
accepted. It rates 0.
Yes, so he
They
has
have
to
to
write
write
too
too
much.
much.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Now, the second rubric, Mrs. Suhair, it's about completing a dialogue.
Yes. It's somehow similar to exercise the previous exercise from 11 to 14. But here it's a dialogue. That means that the 4 sentences are connected to each other.
Yes,
The
right.
rubric
That's why
is
our advice to our dear students to read the whole dialogue
Yes.
first of all, and then to read
From the
sentence
answer,
by
they
sentence.
can know the question.
what
from
is
the
missing
answer.
in the
because
first.
as it's a dialogue, that might help you more to find the answer.
Yes.
The rubric is choose the correct answer, A, B, or C, to complete the following dialogue. Also, it's allotted 40 marks.
Yes, right.
Number 15, it's of course the conversation between Tala and Nada. Tala says, you forgotten keys at home? Do, or are, or have. How can I as a student know if I must choose do, or are, or have?
Yes.
Here we have the verb forgotten. Forgotten is in the
Past
past
participle.
participle form. As we said now, before past participle, we must use have or has.
Yes.
But here, because the verb, the subject is you, so we are going to choose have. And
Yes,
also,
right.
we don't have has in the choices. Why not using do? Why don't we use do? Because after do, we are going to have a verb in the zero form.
Zero
Yes,
form,
right.
yes. And after
And we
are,
don't use are, because after are we must have either we don't have a verb, or we are going to have a verb in the ing form.
Yes, right. So are you going?
Yes.
Is he playing?
Yes.
But when we say forgotten, so we have to choose
Have or-
Have you forgotten?
Yes.
Now, do you forget?
Exactly.
As you have
Zero
mentioned.
form, yes.
Now, can you write down the
Yes.
answer, Miss Nisreen, on the answer sheet?
Also here we can write either the letter C, only C,
yes.
or we
number
can
15.
write, yes, or we can write have, or we can write both.
So
Yes.
if
If
you
they
write
write
letter
C,
C, it's correct
It's
Yes.
correct.
and accepted. If you write
Have.
See and have also is corrected. If they write both,
both of them,
course it's
also.
it's better. It's better of the better.
Sometimes the students write the letter, the correct letter, but
Yes.
the
It's
wrong
different.
word.
Yes,
Very
right.
important
Yani here-
things.
He might
To
write
mention
C
it. Yes.
and are, for
Yes, right.
example.
Yes. For example, let us do 16.
Yes.
16 is
We didn't
Nada.
discuss this yet.
Yes. No, I think they are in my car.
Yes, here the correct choice is they, because the position is a subject pronoun.
Yes, we need subject pronoun.
Yes.
Not object, not possessive.
There is a
pronouns.
possessive adjective, it's not used here, and them is an object pronoun which we can't use here.
Yes.
Yes, right.
So
So,
the right is A, they.
A, they. Yes. So, please, our dear students, be careful to write the correct choice, either
the
the
correct
letter
word.
or the word or both of them.
Yes.
But the letter
Otherwise-
which is corresponding to the correct choice,
Yes.
not another one.
Yes. If
Now-
they write, for example, A with them.
There, okay. This is
Letter
wrong.
A and the word of letter C.
Yes.
Course letter A is correct.
They want to confuse the
Yes.
teachers, but the teachers are not going to be confused.
This is like the tricks of the true and false.
Yes.
So they are
They
going to
always
lose
do.
marks. So
Yes.
it's not accepted. Please be careful.
Sometimes, in this case, we can't take it because if we have two answers, we always take the first answer.
Yeah, but it's not always.
It's not a rule.
It
Yes,
depends.
Don't
yes.
depend on that.
Yes.
Now, let's move to the missing words with Miss Nisreen, please. Would you, here it's the most difficult part of the exam that students suffer from.
Yes.
But I think it's not difficult. Once they understand the meaning of the sentence, they are going to know what is missing. Would you
Yes.
please read?
This question is one of the fears for the 9th grade students. They always have this idea of what words I can use. There are a lot of words. So now we are going to help you to know what kind of word.
Yes, right.
And to tell you that each space should be filled with one functional word.
Yes, right. One word for each space.
Yes, one word. And by functional words, we mean auxiliary, articles, pronouns, relative pronouns, etc. Something like that.
Now, let's
Now,
begin.
the rubric is write the missing word in each space, and it's allotted 30 marks.
Yes,
We
right.
have 3 statements, 19, 20, and 21.
Yes, right.
We are going to do one of them.
Yes.
The letter hasn't arrived. Here, I want to tell you that the meaning is full, it's clear. So we have to use functional words which help us to make the sentence grammatically correct. Like in this sentence, the letter hasn't arrived. This is a present perfect sentence, and it is in the negative form. We have a space at the end of it, so sure it is to use yet.
So the student has to analyze what is missing, what we have, what tense do we use, in order to decide what to put in the space.
Yes.
So the number 19, yet. If we have the same
sentence, but another space or the same tense. Mona has received a letter. Also here we have present perfect sentence, and we have a space between the auxiliary and the present participle verb, the main verb. So we can use just or already. This is a functional word.
Yes, right. If we have also a similar sentence, but here we have different space.
Yes.
Let's read
different,
it.
I received a letter from my cousin in London. So because the verb received in verb 3, so we have to use have or has, and we choose have because the pronoun is I.
Yes, right. Yes, we have a call.
Yes.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello.
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 Can I ask a question?
Yes, of course.
Yes, my question is, which auxiliary we use in this sentence?
Yes.
Which auxiliary we use
in this
sentence? We use in this sentence.
Yes.
What is the sentence?
Yes.
He is interested in English.
Yes. He is interested
in English.
In English.
Yes.
You mean the tag?
Yes. What type of auxiliary? Yes, right. You say
in English.
Yes, right. He is interested. So do you want us to explain the use why here we have is?
Yes, yes.
Yes, thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks. Yes. Mrs.
Yes, it is because interested here is an adjective. That's why we are using is. We can't use has because interested is not a verb. The verb of interested is interest.
Yes.
So here it's not a verb, it's an adjective. That's why we use is.
Yes.
Because any sentence needs a verb. Here we don't have a verb. If interest is not a verb, that's why we're not using has. It's is.
So the same as when we say the example, he is Syrian. He is beautiful.
Yes, exactly.
He is tall. He is interested in. So interested.
But maybe she is confused because interested have an ed at the end of it.
Yes.
So they think that it is a verb too, or the past participle.
So here we use is because after it we have interested, and interested is an adjective, not a verb. Yeah, thanks. Another call. Yes, good morning.
Hello.
Hello.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, of course.
Do optional subjects come to the exam?
Optional projects? No, they are not required.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. No. So this about the missing words. Because we don't have enough time. Now let's move to the second task or to the second question, Ms. Nisreen, which is about matching
exercise. In the matching exercise, we have column. Two columns, column A and column B.
Yes, right.
The rubric is complete each item in column A with the correct choice from column B, and it's allotted 40 marks.
Yes.
We have in column A 4 items, and in column B we have 5 items. So from the meaning here the students need to read the whole sentence first.
Yes, right.
And from the meaning they can match the one which is related to the other.
Yes, right.
So meaning here is very important. And sometimes I can depend on some grammatical rules to help me. Like for example, the PowerPoint, yes. For example, number 24.
Yes.
Dentists advise people to. Here after to I should use an infinitive.
Yes, right.
And I have 2 sentences with infinitive like brush and damage. So I read the 2 sentences. Dentist advise people to brush their teeth regularly. Yes, it does. It makes sense. But damage many buildings?
Of course not.
Make
now,
sense.
would you please, Ms. Nisreen, show us how can I write down the answer on the answer sheet, because some students, they write the first item and the second item. Do we need to write the whole sentence?
No.
Yes, please.
We don't need
quickly.
to write the whole sentence. I
Yes.
would write number 24, which I did. 24 is to letter A.
The
Yes,
numbers
right.
are
Not
clear.
clear. Yes.
24.
24.
So we can write
We can write letter A.
So it's enough.
Correct, and it's enough.
Now.
And some of sentence to make sure from their answers they write the whole sentence, and okay,
Yes,
it's
they
correct
write
also.
brush
The
there.
second part
Yes.
of the sentence.
Yes, right.
They
Brush.
we write only
While
only
you are
from
writing, I'm
column
going
B.
to take a call. Yes, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yes.
يا ماما ممكن تعيدوا لنا السؤال تبعي 9 و10
9 و10 يلي تحت النص الثاني
وممكن حله من النص.
اللي عرضناها كأمثلة بحلقة اليوم. تكرم عينك، يلا على السريع. تكرمي.
We did 9.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's go back
We
to
don't
now.
write number 10 on the
Yes, we
the
have it.
PowerPoint.
We have it, Ms.
When
Nasreen.
does a reporter face
Yes,
the most
right.
difficult part of his job? This is
Yes.
the question.
So, what is the first thing she wants both questions?
Yes.
The number 9. What is the first thing Ziyad's father usually does? Now, here we say we have
already
mentioned that
start.
here we have here starts. So this means that we are going to write he usually checks his email and phone messages. This is for number 9. Now, the second one, Ms. Nasreen.
Yes, number 10 is when does a reporter face the most difficult part of his job? If we go back to the text, and at the end of the text we will find that the text says the hardest part of a reporter's job is when he has too little information about an event. So the hardest parts
It means the most difficult.
means the most difficult, and we mentioned before that it doesn't sometimes we don't use the same words
That's right.
but the same meaning.
Yes, yeah, thanks a lot. Now, let's move now to the second, to the task, which is about choosing the correct tense, Mrs. Zuhair.
Yes. Choose the correct tense between brackets. It's allotted 50 marks. We're going to be fast. 5 sentences, all about tenses,
Yes.
reported speech, passive voice, conditional sentences, future tense.
Yes, right. Now, let's begin with number 26.
Before she goes or went to school, she had learned to speak English. I'd like to say that the student must know that the sentence must be in harmony. We mean that if it ends with the past, that means that it has to start with the past. If it ends with the present, it has to start with the present. Of course, that's for the 9th grade only. We have other exceptions, but we are not going to discuss them
Yes.
here.
Yeah, of course.
So here, because had learned is in the past participle, we're going to use went because it's in the simple past.
Yeah, thanks.
So
Another
when we have
example?
something in the past, here we have something in the past, so it doesn't have connection to the present.
Yeah,
Yes, right.
exactly. Number 27, we lived or have lived in Damascus since I was a child. Here we have the word since. We know that we use since and for with the present perfect tense.
Yes.
So we're going to
An
use
indicator.
have lived. It's an indicator. It's the key word for present perfect. So we use have lived.
Yes,
Yes.
right. Another one.
We were playing or are playing football when it began to rain. Here the word began refers to the past.
Yes, right.
And we're going to use were playing. It's past continuous with simple
Yes.
past.
Something was in progress while
Yes.
another action
Interrupted
happened
it.
or interrupted
Yes.
it.
Number 29, if he sleeps or slept early, he would get up active. This is the second conditional sentence. We know that it's second from the second part. Here we have would and get. Would with verb 0.
The
That
second
means
conditional
second
sentence.
conditional. That means that in the first part, we're going to use verb 2.
Now, if he sleeps Then what's what
Will. We will have in the second part, he
so
will.
this about the first and second conditional. What about reported? Also, let's have an example.
Reported, Rana said she visits or visited her friend. Said in the past, that means visited. After said, you are going to have either simple past or past participle. Maybe past participle is not mentioned in the ninth grade?
No, not
so simple past
yes,
always
simple past.
after said.
And told, always simple past. Yeah,
Simple
thanks
past.
a lot, Mrs. Suhair. Now, let's move to complete the dialogue with Miss Nisreen. Here we have 3 sentences to write questions, and we have 2 questions to write answers. Would you please...
In the dialogue question, we have 2 parts, 2 tasks. The first one is to write the questions. The second one is to write the answers. So in number 31, 32, 33, we have to write the question.
Now, let's have now this sentence. Miss Nisreen, I'm planning for a trip to Palmyra. How
Yes.
can I write?
But I want to review the most important thing here is the question structure,
Yes,
which
right.
is the using of the question word, then the auxiliary, then the subject, then the verb, then the rest of the sentence, if we
Now,
need it.
How can I decide what is the correct question word that I have to use? What, where, which, when, why, who, how?
Yes, from the answer.
From the
Like
answer.
in this example, I'm planning for a trip to Palmyra. So here I am talking about what I am doing. About so the question, the suitable question word is what. I use what are you doing? And another important idea is to pay attention to the using of the tense. Here the answer is in the present continuous, so I have to use a present continuous question.
That's right.
In the second question, the answer is, it takes 5 hours to get there. I have number here. So, and the sentence is in the present, simple.
It takes, yes, right.
When I want to ask about number, I usually use a question phrase which is how many or how much, how many plus the noun which I'm going to ask about. So how many hours, and I use the auxiliary verb does, because does it take to get there?
Now, Miss Nisreen, some students, they write how many 5 hours does it take to get there? How many 5 hours does it take to get there? So they put the answer in the question.
Yes.
Now,
No, this answer is
not accepted.
Incorrect,
So
not
be
accepted.
careful. If you are asking about something, don't contain it in your question.
yes. Don't write the part of the answer
in the question.
in the question.
How many hours? So I'm asking, I don't know how many hours.
Yes.
But when we say how many 5 hours, so it's not a logical question, and it rates 0, I think.
Yes, yes.
Now,
The third one.
that's enough.
Enough.
Now, let's move now to write the answers.
Yes, the second part here is to write the answer. So please also pay attention to the using of the right tense. Here I have two questions. How often, for example, and it rates of course 20 mark. How often do you go to the library? So I'm asking about a habit, and I'm asking in the present. So I say I go to the library twice a month, once a year, because it is the library.
Never.
Never. So, and here I want the student to pay attention to the using of the question word.
Yes, right.
When they ask us about when, so it is about time. I have to mention time. When they ask us about where, so I have to mention
A place.
A place.
Yes, would you please let me take a call?
Yes.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hello.
I have one question.
Mm-hmm.
I have one question.
Yes.
An activity book,
Yes.
page 26,
Mm-hmm.
exercise 5,
Mm-hmm.
number 1.
Exercise number 5, number
1.
1. Yes.
Rain will damage the crops.
Yes.
We say too much or too many rain will damage the crops.
Yes, right. Would you please, Mrs. Suhair?
May I ask you, Mais, can you count rain? Rain.
Can you say one rain, two rains,
we
three
count.
rains?
So as we said before, too much is used for uncountable noun, and that's why we use too much rain. Too much rain will damage the crops because rain is uncountable.
Yes.
Okay?
I have another question.
Yes.
Number 2,
The same exercise.
The same exercise.
exercise 5.
Yes, the same. I'm
2.
sorry, I can't buy
I
a
am
ticket.
sorry. I am sorry, I cannot buy a ticket because it costs too much or too many.
Also too much because when we talk about money, we use too much. When we talk about money, we
Yes,
use too much.
Money. Too much
No,
money.
some students find it confusing because
They
we don't write money.
Money,
Here,
yes,
yeah.
right. The
They
same
say
way.
it costs space
Yes.
and I haven't
Yes,
got. But cost.
from the word cost,
Cost.
it means
Yes.
it costs money.
Money.
The same in number 8, sentence number 8. If you eat too much,
Yes.
it means also if
Food.
yes, too much food costs too much money.
Too much food.
Eat food.
Yes.
So here, number 2, I'm sorry, I can't buy a ticket because it costs too much and I haven't got enough money.
Yes.
And we say too many people or too much people.
People is it plural or singular?
If
Plural.
Yes. Can you
So-
count people? Say one
So we
person,
can
two
count
people.
them.
Say too many.
yes.
Yes, right.
Yes.
Very good.
Right.
Number 7, if too many people want to go on
Thank
one.
you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Yes, right. Let's go back to our discussion, Ms. Nisreen. As we have said that we have to focus on writing answers, we have to focus on the use of the question word and the tense of the sentence in order to answer correctly. So here when we ask how often do you go to the library, if a student write for you, I go with my sister, is it correct?
No, of course, it's incorrect.
So because some
Because
students
I'm not asking about
Who.
about the object.
Yes,
I am asking how often about your habit.
Yes, right. Let's take another example about the same sentence, but instead of using how often, here we have
Who?
when.
When, yes. When did you go to the library? Here I am asking about. Here when refers to time.
Time.
So I have to mention the time.
Yes,
When
right.
did you go to the library? I went to the library last week, and did indicate the past, so I have to use the verb in the past.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Now, what about this
The third
another option?
Yes, the third one, here who is refers to a person,
Yes.
so I have to mention a person and in the object place. I went there with my sister.
Yes, right. Thanks a lot. Now,
So it depends on the question word very much.
yes, right.
in this question.
Our advice to our dear students to write simple and logical answer.
Yes.
Not to be complicated, not to write very something
It's-
that
it's
is
not
difficult.
a paragraph.
Yes, try to choose answers that are very simple and logical, and they are related to what we have asked.
question.
Or
Another
to the
important
question.
idea, when in making question, they have to write the question word. If they don't write the question word,
Yeah.
so
answer
the
read
answer
zero.
is
Yes,
read zero.
Yes, right. We have a call. Hello. Good morning.
ممكن بس تحكوا لنا بالعربي مشان بس نفهم.
شو بدك احكي لك بالعربي؟ قولي لي. شو اللي بدك ما فهمتي علينا احكي لك اياه؟
شو هن القواعد المحذوفة؟
القواعد المحذوفة هي الوحدتين الأخيرات يلي هن رقم 11 ورقم 12. بكل ما فيهم بالقواعد والنصوص والمواضيع. الوحدة رقم 11 زائد الوحدة 12 طبعا بكتابي الطالب والأنشطة.
يعني الريبورتد سبيتش
هلا
محذوف.
هن ما فيهم قواعد جداد.
تماما لأنه هلا الريبورتد
But
كانت
I wish
موجود.
is a
I
new.
wish.
But the conditional sentence.
We have
and
the second
reported-
conditional.
We have second conditional sentence.
Yes, in the first semester.
Yes.
Yes.
فكلياتهم هدول القواعد موجودين، يعني هو ما في شيء جديد، بس اكيد النصوص
النصوص أكيد
اللي
والنصوص
فيها ما لها
والمواضيع.
داخله، بس
تمام.
القواعد هن اصلا مكررين.
الحالة الثانية من الجمل الشرطية بس هي كانت مكررة، لكن هي ويش هي
بس
كانت
we have
هي
already-
الجديدة. تماما.
Look at yes. So is it clear?
She isn't with us. Now let's move to the last part of the exam paper, which is about paragraph writing. Yes, Mrs. Suhair.
The rubric is write a 50-word composition about one of the following topics. Here you are going to have 2 topics and the student must choose only one topic.
Yes.
Please, dear student, don't waste your time writing 2 topics. Choose one that you know and you are sure that you can write it correctly and write it. As we said, it's
please write only one. One. Don't waste your time. Now, what about the number?
Write the one which you are sure about it first.
Yes, right. You have to choose. Yes, right.
As we said, the composition is, it has also, as we said at the beginning of the seminar, it has its space. Don't write it in,
Yes.
may you show us that some students write it here.
Yes. Some students
Write the composition
They
here.
can- no,
this,
it's not. It's not. It's a space here, or it's part.
They
we have a
have-
special part,
You
special
have a
page.
full page only for composition, so feel free
Yes.
to write
You
it.
can write your
You
paragraph.
have enough space.
Yes, right. Now, what about correcting?
How to correct
How
it.
to correct? Now,
As we said, it's 50 marks. We have 10 marks for task response. That means if the student is able to understand the question and able to start writing about it, he will have 10 marks. Vocabs, if the student choose the suitable vocabs for the topic, he will also have the marks. When we say spelling, that means the dictation of the words.
Yes.
Here we have an example for
Yes,
about
right.
spelling.
If
If he
he
writes
writes-
the sky rather than SKY, he writes it SKI.
yes, right. So it's
so
wrong.
he will lose some marks.
Yes, the sky is cloudy, for example. If he writes it with instead
an
of
I.
SKY, he writes SKI.
I.
So he is going to lose
Some marks,
some
or
marks.
1 mark.
Or 1 mark.
Grammar, he must use the correct tenses related to the topic he is using and related to the tenses he is using in general. Here, if he uses, for example, go rather than went, also he will use. He
Yes,
will
yesterday
lose some
I
marks.
go. So
Yes.
it's not correct. I have to say yesterday I went.
Yes.
Now, another example about
About
vocabulary. What do we mean by vocabulary?
Here, like the collocation, if we use TV, of course, with TV, we mentioned this before, he must use the word watch, the verb watch, not the verb surf.
No.
So if he uses surf TV, he will lose also some marks.
Now, what about punctuation, Mrs. Suhair?
Punctuation and capitalization.
Capitalization,
The student must
capital letters.
know that he has to start the composition with the capital letter. He has to use commas, full stops, question marks, exclamation marks when needed to have the marks
Yeah, thanks a lot.
specialized for punctuation.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So we have 50 marks. They are distributed according to the following: punctuation, vocabs, grammar, spelling, and the content or the task response. Now, let's have a call. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Fine.
How are you?
Can you speak in the Arabic?
Shall
Yes, we can.
repeat?
Yes, we can.
هلا اصلا عندي اول شيء سؤالين. هلا اول شيء النصوص بتجي بالامتحان من الكتاب ولا من خارج الكتاب؟
من الكتاب، ونوهنا لهذا الشيء كمان، من النصين اللي والمواضيع وكافة الأسئلة هي من ضمن الكتاب، ولا يوجد أي شيء من خارج الكتاب أو موازي لما في الكتاب. إذا كل
يعني وعندي سؤال ثاني. هلا بدي شرح قاعدة أو ذا.
تماما articles
articles
نشرحهم. يلا.
بالعربي.
Thank you. شكرا.
in Arabic.
Now, before we answer about her question about using articles, would you please show us a sample how to correct paragraph in the exam?
Yes.
It's very important for our students. Here we have a sample or a paragraph which was written by a student.
Yeah.
Let's now see on the overhead
sample
how we can
composition.
correct paragraph in that some students don't know how they lose marks or so pay attention.
In general, when we correct a composition, we usually read it more than one time. We read it for the first time to check the task response and the vocabularies. And then we do the second reading for the rest of the things.
So,
In this sample composition, here the students, the rubric or the topic is reading newspaper is better than reading news on the internet. So here the students has to to make a comparison or to discuss this statement.
Yeah. Now let's see.
But when I read it for the first
Yes.
time, I found that he writes, I think watching news on TV is better than a newspaper. So here he makes a comparison between the TV and the newspaper,
Not between newspaper and the internet.
So here the task response is
somehow misses. He
somehow,
misses that.
yes,
It's
it's not wholly relevant, but largely relevant. So in this case, we deduct 1 or 2 marks. It depends.
Yes. So
we usually write this
now,
task.
would you please,
task
Ms. Nisreen,
response,
start correcting
vocabulary,
it?
Grammar,
Yes, read and correct.
And as for the vocabularies, I want to say that I found all the vocabularies is related to the topic. Now I start. It's very important. Here I have a grammar mistake because I have to start with the pronoun and the subject. It's very important. And here also I have a grammatical mistake.
It's
I have
important.
to say important. After important, I usually use to
Yes.
to infinitive.
Important to keep. So here we have also a mistake.
Yes, it's very important to keep up to date with the latest news. And here, at the end of the sentence, we have to end the sentence with a full stop.
Yes, right. So here about
What?
punctuation. Yes.
Yes, punctuation. So a punctuation mistake. I think here the students mean I think. So it
Yes.
is a
Spelling.
mistake. I think watch. Also here we have a grammatical mistake.
What is the correct of this correction of
watching.
this mistake? Yeah.
We can't use 2 verbs after each other.
Yes.
We have to use
I think.
Gerund.
gerund
I
after
think
the verb.
watching.
News on TV also wrong using of preposition. So it is a grammatical mistake.
So we have to write on TV, not in TV.
Yes.
On
TV is better than newspaper. Newspaper is one word, so it is a spelling mistake. In my opinion, it's more interesting. And here is she used a capital letter in the middle of the sentence, so it's wrong.
Punctuation.
Punctuation
Mr.
mistake.
Faid.
More interesting. What is it? Yes. Because also
Spelling.
a spelling mistake, because you can see and listen to people comments. On the other hand, also I usually in English start the sentence with capital letters, so it is
Punctuation.
a capitalization or punctuation mistake. Reading newspaper, here we don't take this mistake because it is repeated. Newspaper
So we deduct marks only once
For the first time.
repeated mistake.
is more relaxing than watching TV. So here, then we count how many grammatical mistake we have. For example, 4 grammatical mistake and 3 spelling mistake, and so we count them and write.
Yeah, thanks
And
a lot.
then deduct.
Thanks a lot. So
Yeah.
this means that the student should read the paragraph, know what's required, and
Yes.
to pay attention to spelling, to grammar, to the tense, to the vocabs, and also to write the punctuation, capital letters, full stops, commas, etc.
Yes.
Now, back to the question of our dear students about using articles. Articles a and the. Now, Mrs. Suhair, let's
Shall
begin
I
with the...
explain Arabic? Because she asked so.
Yes, you can.
I will explain in English and in Arabic.
Yeah.
We use a for the first time we mention something, of course for singular, and for the first time we mention something. يعني بنستخدم أو آن للكلمات المفردة وللكلمات التي نذكرها لأول مرة. مثلا بنقول I'm going to tell you about a city.
Yes.
هون لأنه السيتي عم نذكرها لأول مرة، لسه ما حكينا أبدا عن أي مدينة من قبل، فبنستخدم الارتيكل a. إذا تكلمنا المرة الثانية عن نفس المدينة ساعتها بنختار ذا. ذا كمان بتجي مع regions or names of countries، يعني مع الأقاليم، مع المناطق، مع west,
The west,
east,
east.
north, west,
Yes,
north, south.
Yes, middle,
مع
center, in the
directions.
center, in the
تمام،
middle.
بنقول
Yes.
in the west, in the east، ما بنقول in a east أو in an east حتى لو كان عم نحكي أول مرة، فهون لازم نستخدم the. أو مثل ما حكينا للمرة الثانية اللي بنذكر فيها الشيء بنقول the.
No.
ملاحظة كثير مهمة بتساعد الطلاب لما بنحط انه يحطوا ببالهم دائما انه الاي والان تجي بس مع السنجولار وورد.
تماما.
فالذا
singular and
plural بنشوفها بقى اذا هو الاسم عندنا معرف او لا او جنرال. بس الاي والان حصريا
yes right.
singular.
Here we have the about superlative adjective, the best, the most, the smallest, the biggest, the
we
tallest.
have a long list
Yes.
of the words which we use with that.
Now, concerning names of countries, not all countries that we can use with them the.
We have USA, for
yes,
example.
right.
We
So
say
countries
the
which
USA,
are
the UK, yes, the UAE.
yes, right. UAE, United Kingdom, United States. Yes, here we can say the.
Yes.
But we can't say the Syria. Yes, right.
Some countries.
Some countries, yes, yes, right. Now we have a call. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello.
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 Can I speak Arabic?
yes.
أنت بس بالموضوع أحرف الجر البسيطة بحسبها من 50 كلمة.
إيه طبعا. إيه.
Yes, I want to mention this idea.
عم يسأل إذا حرف الجر بنحسبه كلمة بنعده يعني.
تماما. هلا مرق معنا مثال مع الآنسة نسرين وقت كانت عم تصحح، وقت قلنا I like watching or I think watching news in TV، فهو إن حطت لنا عليها خط أحمر وهي كانت عبارة عن خطأ لأنه هو المفروض إنه يكتب on TV، حرف الجر الخطأ يحاسب عليه الطالب.
وبنعده بنعتبره كلمة وبنعده.
حتى الارتكلز
الآن يعتبر كلمة كمان.
Yeah, thanks. Another call. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
عندي سؤالين.
تفضلي.
السؤال الأول. ألو.
أيوة تفضل سمعانين.
أول سؤال تبع المواضيع. الآخر وحدة.
تماما.
مواضيع تبعهم أياهم شو اسمهم؟
هنن yes. About making friends.
Happy.
Yes.
How to be
description of
happy.
someone who is special to you.
Yes.
وصف صديق.
What makes you feel happy?
What makes you feel happy.
هذا مو داخل.
Comparing عفوا composition about what you enjoy doing most. This is هي هذا صفحة 67. تماما. وفي عندنا صفحة 71. 75. This is about activity book. This is activity book. Student Mrs. Suhair.
For
أنا طلع معي what makes you feel happy.
يلا student صفحة 93. هدول يعني انت عم تقولي اللي مو مطالبين فيهم. و87.
خايفين يفكروا الطلاب انه هدول مطالبين فيهم.
صفحة 87 قلتي له.
تمام. Write a description of a friend.
إيه تمام.
Description of a friend. Yes, right. And what makes you feel
happy.
Yes, right. Because they are at the end of the book. Both units 11 and 12 they are deleted or omitted. Now,
yes.
At the end of this. Yes, right. At the end of this seminar, what's your advice, Ms. Nisreen, for your students?
I have a lot of advice.
Yes,
but
you have 2 minutes.
In 2 minutes, first of all, my advice is try out a past exam, preferably in timed condition.
Yes,
so
practice.
Yes, practice. Do this past exam or this like what we did now. So use a timer to try how long each part would take you.
Yes, right.
And get feedback to see the mistakes if there is mistake.
Yes, right.
In order to learn from your mistake.
Yes, right. Self-learning.
And during the exam, keep calm. Don't get nervous. Manage your time. Don't leave a lot of questions to the end of the time. And when you finish, make sure of what you have done, of what you have written.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yes, Mrs. Suhair.
Actually, they're the same. Organize your time, relax, don't feel stressed, make revision, attend such sessions, they might give you some ideas about the exam.
They may help you. Yes.
Don't feel stressed, as you said, because it's really not that difficult. Everything is mentioned in your book, the topics, the texts, the grammar, the questions, everything is mentioned in your book. Just study well and good luck.
Yes,
We
right.
wish you good luck.
Thanks a lot. So relax, sleep well before exam, organize your time. And during exam, please save at least 10 minutes at the end of the exam to revise what you have written, and to make sure that each answer you answer all the questions, that each number, for example, number 1, the same, you can see the answer of number 1. Is it for number 1 or for number 2? So you have to make sure that you have answered everything and everything is okay. And forget about marks, forget about results. Don't worry, everything will be
Hopefully
clear,
everything
simple.
will go smoothly.
Yes, of course.
And good luck.
That's all. Now, in the end of this seminar, I want to thank Mrs. Zuhair and Ms. Nisreen. I'm so grateful for your great efforts. Thanks a lot.
It's been a pleasure being with you, Ms. Ala.
Thanks a lot for your participation, Ms. Nisreen Saqbani and Mrs. Zuhair Haj Omar.
Thank you.
Our dear students, many thanks for your watching. Wish you all the best. Goodbye.